If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and you like it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing
just
there.
Go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there.
I mean, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures. And look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the...
The morning the scandal broke felt like any other. Coffee in hand, scrolling through the usual news. But then, one name caught my attention. Sunny Hostin. Normally known for her fiery commentary on The View, this time it wasn't about her. Instead, it was about her husband, Dr. Emanuel Manny Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon, and his practice, Host Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. The headlines were shocking. Insurance fraud, kickbacks, and, believe it or not, involvement in a massive RICO lawsuit with 180 defendants. This wasn't just another case, it was a full-blown blockbuster. Before we dive into the details, make sure to like and subscribe to stay updated on this jaw-dropping scandal. Let's get into it.
Mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
The RICO Act, initially designed to dismantle organized crime like mobsters and gangs, is now being used in an unexpected way. This time, it's not criminals from the underworld facing charges. It's doctors, surgeons, and medical professionals. The drama unfolding feels less like Goodfellas and more like Grey's Anatomy, with a side of fraud. The lawsuit claims Dr. Emanuel Hostin and others orchestrated a scheme to exploit the healthcare system. They're accused of accepting kickbacks for unnecessary surgeries and submitting inflated or fraudulent insurance claims. Imagine patients undergoing procedures they didn't need, while insurance companies foot the bill, and money flows as if it's a high-stakes card game inside the hospital. The whole thing is a shocking twist.
I want a citizen that has a policy. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation? How about removing some of the podcasts that disseminate this misinformation?
They have.
And that's
Here's where it gets interesting. The lawsuit accuses Dr. Hostin of receiving financial incentives for recommending or performing arthroscopic surgeries, which are typically minor joint procedures. On the surface, these surgeries appear legitimate, but the lawsuit suggests many were completely unnecessary. Were patients genuinely in need of knee or shoulder surgeries, or was this a scheme for profit? If true, this could be one of the most shocking betrayals, making soap opera scandals seem tame. Imagine trusting your doctor only to find out you were nothing more than a pawn in a money-driven game. Now that's a betrayal that hits hard.
Always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange of...
Here's the twist. On the other side of this case is American Transit Insurance Company, ATIC, the plaintiff. They're accusing Dr. Hostin of scamming them out of millions, claiming they were billed for surgeries that either never took place or weren't necessary. It's like paying for a premium steak and being served tofu instead. But let's not forget, insurance companies aren't without their flaws either. They've faced accusations of underpaying doctors, denying claims, and exploiting loopholes to avoid paying. So the real question is Attic uncovering a massive healthcare fraud, or are they just trying to shift blame as they teeter on the brink of bankruptcy?
Lawsuit obtained by Page Six. The orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber.
Dr. Hostin's lawyer, Daniel Thwaites, didn't hold back. He quickly dismissed the lawsuit as a meritless attempt by ATIC to recover their losses, calling it a desperate move from a company on the brink of financial collapse. Thwaites skillfully shifted the focus, portraying Attic as the real villains in this case, a classic courtroom tactic to turn the tables on the accuser. It certainly kept the courtroom drama red hot. But the plot thickened when Joe Rogan entered the scene. Known for his outspoken opinions, Rogan took aim at The View, calling out what he saw as blatant hypocrisy. He reminded everyone how Sunny Hostin often criticized others while likely being aware of her husband's shady dealings. Rogan didn't stop there, roasting the show for being plain stupid. He even quipped that if you averaged the IQs of the hosts, it'd be a challenge to hit triple digits. It was pure, unfiltered Rogan.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. So that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
Joe Rogan's harsh remarks were a hit with his fans, but while Dr. Hostin fights to clear his name in court, his wife Sunny has remained strangely silent. Normally vocal on The View, Sunny has not addressed her husband's scandal, leaving fans to speculate, is she defending him, distancing herself, or waiting for legal advice? Some think she's protecting her image, while others believe she's avoiding becoming the next target. Either way, her silence speaks volumes. And here's the kicker. Dr. Hostin isn't the only defendant. He's one of 180 individuals named in the lawsuit, including other doctors, medical practices, and even hospitals. If the allegations hold, this could become one of the largest medical fraud cases in recent history, revealing a vast network of corruption and exploitation of healthcare loopholes for millions of dollars.
Her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a lawsuit. Okay, now let's read this. Rob, is this a video?
Well, I have this. I'll show you this about.
Let me just read this and I'll come to you. So, Dr. Emanuel Manny Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Hostin, is accused in December lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases. Wow. Hostin's attorney Daniel Thwaites denies the allegations, calling the lawsuit a meritless attempt by a near bankrupt insurance carrier to intimidate doctors and restrict healthcare benefits. The case involves claims that Hostin performs unnecessary surgeries on patients after minor accidents without exploring less invasive treatments, with American Transit citing New York's 1974 no-fault law as contributing to widespread.
It's like something straight out of a heist movie. Except instead of robbing banks, these criminals are swiping insurance premiums. At the center of it all lies a bigger issue. How much faith can we place in the healthcare system when money seems to take priority over patient care? When doctors and insurance companies focus more on profits than people, trust starts to erode. This whole situation is a complicated mess, and untangling it won't be easy. As of now, Dr. Hostin has not been found guilty. These are just accusations. But the court battle promises to be an intense spectacle, with both sides ready to go all out. For now, all we can do is watch, try to separate fact from fiction, and brace for the twists and turns. Whether Dr. Hostin is guilty or innocent, this case is already casting a harsh light on uncomfortable truths in both the healthcare and insurance industries. Buckle up, because this scandal is far from over. With every new revelation, we'll be here, popcorn in hand, watching it unfold like the courtroom drama it's sure to become. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.